getting a job these days. It's maybe not very difficult if you're not someone who sticks out, you know. You're not someone who stands out. If you're just one with the pack and you have the same mind and same thoughts as everybody else, you probably get a job very easily. You can probably get a job very easily and actually keep that job. Not just get it, but then keep it too on top of that. And this stuff is getting very serious with my life right now as I sit here and talk about this in a way that hopefully you can put yourself in my shoes a little bit and understand what it is I'm going through, what it is that some of the people around me, society as a whole, is causing me to have to deal with that originally I didn't have to deal with at all, or I wouldn't have ever had to if they didn't make the choices that they consciously made to make me go through this stuff. But jobs, you know, I don't know if you guys know, but I got fired for asking someone if they knew the Muffin Man. People threatened me. They didn't lose their job, but I got fired for asking someone if they knew the Muffin Man, which was all jokes. I mean, it was literally just from the Shrek movie. I'm still on this. History doesn't... I mean, you guys thought that, the conveyor belt just kept moving. You know, it doesn't matter that one box was untaped that I sent down. The conveyor belt's just going to keep moving. Dude, that untaped box then affects somebody else. It doesn't just erase. It doesn't just go away. You know what I mean? Although we tried so hard to wipe me out of this economy, we tried everything. We tried blacklisting the jobs, you know, calling up to the places that I apply at, telling them shitty things about me so that I can't get a job. We tried that already. We tried firing me and blacklisting me from places that I already worked at so that I can't reapply there. It makes it harder for me to be financially prosperous. It's like they're like, hey, you know, I want anybody else to be financially prosperous, just not that OT NATH guy, not that Benjamin guy. Why? What did I do? And so what usually their response after that is pure defamation, if they can ever think of one. They make up a bunch of bullshit, and I just sit there and let them talk. I let them talk. Until I come on here, and then I go address that shit, and everybody realizes that they were just completely bullshitting out of their mouth. Everybody realizes that they were just completely bullshitting, completely lying. So where is it? Where is the truth that these other people swear they have? I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any actual solid evidence. It's all been words. It's all been words. Where me, I be posting the fucking conversations. I be posting the screenshots. I be posting the videos. So while they plead the fifth, I'm right here on the front line, bro. I'm right here. I got people who are promoting me for me, and they don't even realize that they're doing it. I mean, it's called working smarter and not harder, you know what I mean? If you can piss someone off a little bit, they'll hold that grudge against you, and then they do the marketing for you. They go around and tell everybody about you. And at that point, you know, people hear it and they go and search me up, and they realize point blank, they're like, well, that guy was fucking lying. They get the gut instinct that person who was promoting me in a bad way, by the way, was completely fucking lying. Once they see my YouTube channel and they see that I'm actually fucking awesome, I'm this amazing fucking dude, I produce all my own beats, they're like, what? This guy ain't this, that, and the other like they said he was. They're like, this guy's fucking awesome. Look at him. At least that's what they would do if they weren't all living in fear. If they weren't all living in fear and they felt like they didn't have to fucking say that I'm trash to even be able to continue posting on Instagram. I mean, because that's where it gets me. That's where it gets me, is like, I had to be shoved down for all your guys's, I don't know if you realize, but for all your guys's clout and everything, the only reason you guys got even an ounce, even a gram of power is by shoving me down. Do you realize that? By making up fake stories about me. By calling me up and putting me in positions to make me look a certain type of way. I've met people who that happened to as well. And they're all good people. I've met people with felonies, which by the way, you know, they went and played like it was me versus him, of course. He called me a racist. This guy has a felony because his buddies called him up and scooped him, picked him up in a truck. They went and fucking beat the shit out of somebody, and he didn't know that was the plan. He was just getting in the truck to hang out. Here his fucking buddies beat the shit out of somebody, and now he has a felony on his record, and he's not even the bad guy. He wasn't told the plans. He was just getting in the truck and going along with shit. So he's got a felony. I mean, how comes, like I said, you know, how comes we're all trying to hurt each other out here? It's like motherfuckers don't have parents that tell them, hey, you know, once we die, the only people you're going to have is your buddies and stuff like that. So make sure you take good care of them so they can take good care of you. Like, you don't want to be competing with your peers because those are your people. You know what I mean? Once you can't get any more mommy and daddy money, those are your fucking people. But people don't care about that. That's too deep for them. That's too spiritual. That's too religious. You know what I mean? It's too deep. It's too psychological. They gotta think too hard for that. They're annoyed. And they take it out on everybody else. And they don't realize how that affects society when they look around, bro. They don't realize it. You know what? I can tell you many times, bro. I've been sitting here, you know, watching this fucking PACKGOD guy. ADIN ROSS calling him a pedo. That's a perfect segue into the situation I've dealt with, which I've never spoken about, bro. The only thing I did was, after that happened, I came home and wrote the song Acceptance. I came home and wrote the song Acceptance after this bullshit happened. I was hanging out with this dude. I would invite him over and we would just get drunk in high school. You know what I mean? It was some fuck shit. But, shouldn't have done that anyways, but that was my first mistake. But I don't think it should have led to this, which was fucking stupid. It was so stupid. So, you know, I went over to his house one time or something like that. I pulled up at his buddy's house or whatever. And he's like, "Hey, you know, this time I'm going to supply the alcohol. You just come over and we'll throw a little party." He invites these girls over. At the time, I'm like, what am I? I'm like a junior in high school. These girls are like freshmen. And I had a few sips of this Four Loko, and I'm just chilling. And we get later into the night and start playing some music, and I'm making out with this chick, and he's fucking videoing me. And I'm like, I fucking go to grab the cooch. She says no. I'm like, all right. And then the kissing like progresses. It gets stronger. And I'm like, you know, all right, well, she said no. I mean, this is clearly she's just wanting to kiss. But then it just continues to progress. I'm like, you know, she's kissing my neck, leaving hickeys on me and shit. I'm like, at this point, I'm like, you know, I'm asking her, hey, are you trying to do this? Are you trying to, like, you know, get it on? Are you trying to, you know, do it? And she says no again, which I'm like, okay, I respect that. Now, whole time, the guy that invited me over to drink is sitting here videoing this thing. Takes the video. He takes the video, makes me look like a fucking pedophile. He uses it to make me look like a fucking, like, I don't even know what he uses it to make me look like, but he's making me look like a creep, like someone who just can't take no for an answer, because he didn't know what I was going through in that moment, how the kissing was progressing or anything like that. He didn't understand. Made it look like I was a creep. And yeah, dude. I mean, and I can't even count to you the amount of opportunities this took from me. And I've been pissed about it, bro. I've been pissed about it. I never got a chance to, you know, really put a stop to it. He's just continued to fucking do that because he feels like he has evidence. So what do you do in a situation, PACKGOD, where I agree with you, PACKGOD. I'm right there with you, you know. Of course people want to take down people like us. But what I want to know is, what do you do in this situation? Because this is a difficult one. I mean, I must have gotten the worst of it. Where the person actually believes that they have what they were looking for, which is the evidence. What do you do when they believe they have the evidence? I mean, beyond the fact that, look, man, I know what I was going through that night better than anybody else does. Yeah, you can take a video of it. It can look a certain type of way. But I know what I was going through that night better than anybody else does. And that's just the reality of it. No matter what, you'll never be able to read my mind or be able to replay exactly what I was going through from my point of view. From that, like, that video will never be from my point of view. So as this new world emerges and we can, you know, start the recording and stop it at any time, we're going to be changing history a lot. We're going to be changing history a lot. And I just want to make sure that this is what everybody wants. I want to make sure that this is what everybody wants. Is this the life that everybody wants now? Where we fucking are using social media to tear each other down, trying to get little text excerpts to be like, oh, look, this guy's an asshole, this guy's racist, this guy's a fucking this and that and the other. Is this what we want? Because this wasn't the landscape that I set out to create when I entered the internet. And I started creating the internet. I started creating the content. I started creating the art. I started creating the cover art, the channel art, the profile pictures, the thumbnails, the editing style, the music. When I started creating the fucking internet, this wasn't the landscape I had in mind. What I envisioned and what I came in doing, leading by example on, was a community that learned and taught. Learn and teach. Learn and teach. It's not that fucking hard. It's not that hard. Just learn and teach. And then together we can all grow. But, and you know, you gotta be generous. You have to be generous, dude. You can't be stingy. But generous in a way that also doesn't give away participation trophies to people who you don't even fucking know. I see these people all the time. They're going around. This isn't what I pictured when I thought about redistributing the wealth and making poor people rich really quick. But I see fucking YouTubers going around giving people $1,000, giving strangers $1,000. I'm like, dude, you don't even know the guy. Why don't you get to know strangers? Get to know like 100 of them? This is like serious advice. No, like I would actually subscribe and share a fucking video if they did this. But you go up and you meet people, and then you find the most talented one who's going the most undiscovered, and you're like, wait, that doesn't make sense how has this much skill and talent, and he's this useful in society, he has this many services to offer, but he only gets 2 views. Or he only, you know, nobody buys his stuff that he makes. And you're like, well, you're the guy. You're the guy I want to give the money to. Right? I mean, we've all seen this stuff happen now. We've all seen that people are getting the crown who don't deserve it. We've seen people who aren't getting the crown who do deserve it really fucking bad. And we're like, we all just feel powerless. We're like, we can't fucking help this guy, even though you can. You can share his stuff and like his stuff. But you sit back and you're like, wait, we gotta wait for the person with all the numbers to do that. Because if I do it, it's pointless. But it's like, dude, do you have 30 people watching your Snapchat story? Okay. That's 30 more views for the person who really needs the views, who really deserves it, who's busting ass, putting in the blood, sweat, and tears to make good music or to make good content for the internet that is helpful for this community. I wanted a community of cooperation and you know, if it was like in a video game and it was like PvP or co-op, I would want the co-op mode. You know what I mean? I was looking at life like it was co-op. And I still do. So I'm still looking at these other motherfuckers. I'm like, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're using these tools to try and bring people down. It's like, if you want to pursue justice, and that's what you're trying to do, Aiden, then do that. Like, create fake 13-year-old Instagram accounts and message people and try to catch pedos. I mean, you've seen how to catch a predator. If that's what you want to do, Aiden, then do that. But don't get your fucking hands and feet dipped in a little bit of everything so that, you know, when you dip your fucking fingernail into justice, you dip your fingernail into justice and you half-ass the whole fucking thing. And you ruin someone's reputation in the fucking process. Don't half-ass justice. Justice is not to be half-assed. It's not a fucking thing on a... It's not a number in a system or an item on a conveyor belt that's just going to keep moving. No, because when you stamp that box that's on the conveyor belt, when you throw a label on that box, you can't pull the label back off. So when you label a criminal, you can't pull the label back off. It's like those really sticky labels that when you pull them off, half of it's still sticking to the box. You can't pull a label off of a criminal. Once you label somebody a criminal, whether they are or they're not, they're always going to be looked at a certain type of way, bro. There's always going to be that person who didn't get the up-to-date news that they're actually not a criminal. That's why justice is not to be half-assed. That's why serious things like that are taken care in a fucking courtroom where it actually matters. You know, it's one thing you post a fucking video of somebody and you say, I believe he may be a pedophile. That's not defamation. Once that goes through court, it doesn't have a need to, because it's not defamation. But yeah. I've seen it all, dude. I don't know why we're still sitting here. You guys are... I don't get why society, the people, you guys who watch YouTube, still show up to half of these creators' circuses. Because if I have to sit here and turn off I Show Speed for my niece because, you know, it's one thing, dude, if my niece hears a swear word, she knows not to say that. She knows that, you know, all the adults are allowed to, but I am not. She knows that. One thing she does not fucking understand is drop that ass and suck that cock, I Show Speed. I've listened to a lot of music. I've heard a lot of vulgar language. I don't think I've ever seen a rap song or a music video that gives you a full-fledged tutorial on how to give a blowjob. So my 5-year-old niece watching that shit, I'm not going to call you a pedophile. I'm just going to tell you what happened. I'm just going to tell you like it is. You know me. So if you look a certain type of way, sorry, not sorry. You know what I mean? I tried saving y'all. You wrote me off. You wrote me off. You didn't realize that these people were trying to tear me down so bad simply because I am the man. You didn't realize it. You believe the people trying to tear me down rather than the man who they felt needed torn down so bad. And now they don't even try to tear me down anymore. I've noticed what the system did instead. They planted parts of me inside these new leaders, but they're still missing so many key points. and I can tell they're still taking so many shortcuts. I just wish they would, rather than shoving me down at this point, I'm asking nicely, rather than shoving me down, just do it the right way. And that would require you to give me my proper credit. It's not even something I want anymore. It's not even something I want. I just want the justice. And you guys have heard this many times at this point. But in doing that, you would have to give me the proper credit. You can't just pretend to do the justice without actually giving me the credit. We've seen why. We've now seen why, because it's only progressing and getting worse. The tensions are getting worse. I would have never allowed this PACKGOD versus ADIN ROSS. That would have never happened under the preconception that I have, 100,000 views per video. This would have never happened because I would have had too much of an effect on the landscape of the internet. I would have had too much of an effect. But instead, we have to take baby steps in the right direction at this point. Not my choice, by the way. You know how I work. I would have it 100K in a week, but we're forced to take baby steps. The internet doesn't like when you work fast. You send too many messages, it's spam. Too many emails, it's spam. So the internet doesn't really like when you work fast and you work hard. So you have to kind of pace it. You have to move at snail's pace. Even though I've seen the algorithm many times take people from 30 views all the way up to a couple thousand. And they do it for people who have the same ideas as me, but they have these ideas years later. Like they'll have like lyrics very similar to mine, like very similar meaning and everything. But it's years after mine. So like what I was saying on a song when I was 17, they say on a song when they're 35. And they get the credit. I mean, you tell me what's more impressive. The guy who came up with the idea on his own at 17, produced and engineered the song, or, mixed the song, I should say, not produced, but mixed the song, put it out there, let the world hear this song, and it had a unique idea. Or the guy who's 35 years old, heard the song or heard the idea from me or one of my fans, and rather than giving it the credit, steal the idea, throw it in your song, and take all the credit. And it's like, you can register your stuff in ASCAP, but they're not good at detecting stuff like that. Like where it's like, okay, he just took the same idea and just kind of slightly reworded it, and now he gets all the credit. They're not going to be giving you a check for that. ASCAP doesn't do that. You can register it on all ends, and you still wouldn't get a check for that. The system's so fucked. The only way we can actually do this is if we're all conscious and we want the right people to get the right, proper credit. But if you don't want that, if that's not and most people don't benefit from that. So of course they wouldn't want that. I mean, you don't want things that don't benefit you. You wouldn't want things that hurt you. So if you're taking credit for other things, you're like, I wouldn't want the right leaders to get their proper credit. Well, no shit you wouldn't, because you're taking a lot of credit for things. You know what I mean? Of course you wouldn't want the right leaders to get their proper credit. Duh. When will you? The better question is, when will you? When will your life be affected to the point where you will want that? Because, yeah, you're like, life's good right now, man. I'm doing whatever the fuck I want to. But when will you be affected to the point where you have to give credit to the rightful people? Back before Looperman changed their policy, dude, I would release a lot of songs with Looperman loops. Back when I was kind of beginning to learn how to produce, I made that Vision Distorted song with the Looperman loop. It was a guitar loop. But the thing is, I didn't just throw the fucking loop in there. I didn't just throw the loop in there. And eventually got tired of doing that, and Looperman changed their policy. So it was both. It was a little bit of both. Originally it was because I was tired of giving credit, but I started producing my own beats so I didn't have to give credit. And yeah. But I would always give the credit. That was the most important part. If someone created something and I know I did not, if I'm going to re-speak it or embellish the work, as you would call it, I would have to give the proper credit. This stuff has always been serious, bro. It's always been... Like, none of the stuff I come on here and talk about is a joke. Unless I'm like... Well, heck, even sometimes when I laugh when I say it, it's kind of just a way to better help handle the situation, the stress, is to laugh at it. I never got a chance to, fully recover from any of the defamation that has occurred to me. So when I see a situation like PACKGOD, one, there's obviously that part of me that's like, okay, the algorithm gets this motherfucker. Like, I'm mad at the algorithm. I'm like, okay, the algorithm's going to pick this guy up when he's struggling and he's getting defamed and shit like that. They're going to pick him up and shove him to the top. So they've done their job there, but not me. So I start to get a little pissed off at the algorithm side of things. But on his actual side of things, I'm like, I'm glad that he is doing well, because he's someone that actually needs the algorithm to pick up and promote his stuff. He doesn't have, all this budget money that can just make the algorithm do the work for him. No, he needs the algorithm. But the algorithm also needed him. And that's something you need to realize about people like us, where it's like, you're like, Ben, people aren't out to get you, but it's like, I never said they were, so clearly they must be, because where else would you even get the idea that people are out to get me? I never said they were. So where it's people like us, where people are actually out to get us, like literally are out. It's not just a delusion, it's not just schizophrenia, but people are literally out to get us. Because we have so much skill, so much talent, so much worth, so much power, so much clout, that the world needs to tear us down to make us feel, to make themselves feel equal. Shut up! To make themselves feel equal. The world needs us, dude. And they just don't want to admit it. I mean, that's all it really comes down to. I'm not going to overcomplicate history for you. But usually the people who are getting shoved down the most, it's because they're the most needed. It's because they're the most wise, the most experienced. Especially when that person isn't even, trying to shove people down back, and he's kind of just coming on and discussing it and searching for, trying to spread awareness, trying to build awareness around a topic. Most people build awareness around a topic. It's very easy for them to get the credit when they're fighting injustice. But for some odd reason, when I come on here and I'm like, yo, this shit's happening to me, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares when it's me. I just find it a bit odd, dude. I find it a bit odd. I've given plenty of sympathy points where it's actually deserved. When it's actually not somebody's fault. I've given them plenty of sympathy points. I'm like, yo, that's actually not your fault. And I have plenty of sympathy to hold towards you. And I give them many different opportunities. So, it's not like I don't have sympathy and I don't deserve sympathy, because that's not the case. I've tried going down that rabbit hole, and I realized, well, that's not the case. I do have a lot of sympathy, and I thought maybe I'm busy pulling other people down, right? Maybe I deserve it because I'm busy pulling other people down. I searched down that rabbit hole and I looked around. I'm like, no, because the only time I've ever spoken up about it, I've had actual proof that it happened. Either they confess that this is what's going on, or I literally have a screenshot that that's what happened. So I'm like, I wouldn't say I'm really trying to pull people down either, bro. I'm just kind of searching for justice on these things. So I'm looking for reasons that, maybe I possibly deserve it. I'm going through as humble as I can possibly be. I'm going through and looking. And that's how I'm golden, bro, because I'm actually looking through to see if it's my fault. But then when I come out and I do all the math and I look at all the experiences I've had, I'm like, shit, there's really not shit I could have done. Then I'm like, dude, it's not my fucking fault. I'm like, I really did choose the best case scenario. I really did choose the best answer when dealing with that conflict. And I'm like, I'm shit on for it. Absolutely shit on for it. The industry ain't ain't doing much better. They all fucking hate themselves. So what do you know? The whole world pitted against each other. Nobody's special anymore, bro. Everybody's pitted against each other. Everybody's equal now. There's people with a bunch of money who have the same type of beefs that we have. Same little petty ass beefs. So what I wonder is, these stupid motherfuckers with money, what's an actual wealthy motherfucker look like? Sometimes I try to answer that with my actions. I'm like, here it is. This is what a wealthy motherfucker looks like. Let me show you. But it's like, I can have class without actually having the money. And you know why? Because I don't gossip. I don't sit around and bullshit. When I come on here to talk, it's to defend myself. If you feel like I'm shooting someone down or I'm pulling someone down, shoving someone down, or hating somebody, it's because they literally did me wrong. I literally have a reason to. I've never come on here, ever in my entire life, come on this fucking live to bullshit to you guys. Never. Not one single fucking time. And I never will. I never will. I have nothing to hide. You know what? And here's the proof. Here's the proof that I have nothing to hide. I've just told one of my darkest stories here in this live that I feared would have me looking crazy. I just told one of those stories that I feared would have me looking crazy because I really don't have anything to fucking hide. You know, if I'm willing to tell you the story that I fear will make me look crazy, or if I'm willing to tell you the shit that makes me look like maybe I'm a bad person, then clearly I have nothing, not a single fucking thing to hide. I don't have a single fucking thing. There's not a damn thing that I've experienced that you haven't heard about yet. Now, what I want to know is why we're still beating around the bush. Why, why do you want why do you want me at 0 views so bad? Why are you looking for this little picky little shit? You're like, oh, he didn't say what I wanted him to say. 0 views. I'm not sharing your stuff. I'm not supporting you, Ben. But it's like, you're not in charge of my YouTube. You should not have me in a position where I cannot grow unless I listen to you. That is called blackmail. There's a term for that. It's illegal. That's illegal. I don't know if you knew that or not, but that's illegal. See right here, I have a guy telling me your shit gets 0 views. Well, if you see, this is for people. Oh, like he said your shit gets 0 views. I'm replying right now. Oh, you're judging on the views. I was over here judging on production value and quality and consistency. Shit. Maybe I'm wrong. Now, see, me and Meta are kind of at a little bit of a war right now because they think they're trying to frame me for only giving a fuck about the views. That's what they're like, dude, he only cares about the views. Even though I've proven time and time again with actual results that the views don't matter. Because there's people with a lot of views who can't even produce their own stuff. And then there's people like me who have 0 views, who create all of their own content. Literally every fucking thing on their channel is created by me. So, you know, I've proven time and time again that the views don't fucking matter. But that's exactly why I should have the views. Because I'm the one actually doing all the fucking work. But I'm saying, to Meta, I'm telling them, I'm trying to tell them, hey, if you want to know how to actually judge people, how to tell if they deserve the views or not that the views matter, but how to tell who deserves the views, come over to my live and I can tell you there, once I get a view, because I actually deserve it, that it's the production value and quality and consistency is what you judge people on. The type of, you know, actions and results that they emit. But if you're just going off of, you know, my words here on Threads, all they're going to do is they're just looking for little shits, little reasons to be lazy. They're like, man, I don't want to watch anybody news content. They're like, I already have ADIN ROSS in my what to watch on YouTube in my recommended. I have plenty of shit I don't want to watch in my recommended already. So why the fuck do I need someone telling me to watch something I don't want to watch on Threads? So when I tell them, hey, you should check out my stuff if you want to know how to actually, you know, measure people's success, because they're trying to sit here and measure success on Threads. So I reply to their thread, you should come by my live and I'll tell you how to actually measure success. They're like, nah, you know, you seem like you just care about the views. I'm like, no, I'm actually going to tell you how to measure success, views aside. He's like, but I have to come watch your live, which would give you a view. So you could just tell me here in the comments. I'm like, yeah, I could. But then I wouldn't be enforcing the thing that I actually believe in, which is that if you actually have the answers and you have the wisdom, you put in the work and you put in the grit, the determination, you should get the views, not the motherfucker who's just sitting on their ass taking the easy route. So as I build the internet around this, they're realizing, hold on, he's very strong. And they block me. They block me. And they call it protecting their peace. Like, you're not protecting your peace. It's avoiding accountability. So I'm still here, dude. You guys tried so hard to fucking slap me out of the economy. I'm still here. Now what? Now what? What do I do now? What do I do now? Where's there to go now? The world fucking hates me. And it's not even my fault. It's not even because of actions that I've actually made as an adult here. The entire world just fucking hates me simply because I can't get a job. They won't allow me to do the thing that I've actually trained myself to do, which is create music. They won't allow me to do that either. Anytime I fucking promote anyway, like I said, you know, you start promoting too much on the fucking social media, you're spam. You start getting shoved to the bottom. Or I try fucking, you know, sharing my art on Instagram with just a post. I'm like, hey, maybe I'll just post it. You know, I won't intrude people's messages or DMs. Just post it. Nope, we're shadow banned there. That's no longer an option. You're like, go talk to people in person. Nope. They never fucking go and actually listen to the fucking song. The only way we can ever make it now is if the algorithm picks up our shit. And when is it going to do that? When is it going to do that? We've been on here. We aren't leaving. We've been here, dude. We're not fucking leaving. I don't know how many times I got to fucking say it. Every time I say I'm not leaving, they throw me 10 more obstacles. They're like, well, we'll just see about that. We'll see. Maybe after this fucking obstacle, you'll get fucking sick of it. And I just stand there. Do they not realize that I just fucking sit there, dude? In the same fucking spot. They thought that all the Republicans would have went to country. So we'll just shove all the country artists to the top. Because if they deserve to be silenced, then they probably just went into the country genre. Or if people are trying to silence them, if there's someone that people want to silence, they probably just went into the country genre. So we'll just promote all the country artists, right? And then that'll clear up all the fucking suppression. But it's like, dude, it's not that fucking simple. There's a lot of people who are getting suppressed who didn't go country, bro. Who didn't go country. This isn't working, bro. The algorithm is not fucking working. Shut it all down. None of it's working. The effects of this has been a lot worse than the intended outcome or even the starting point at this point. The starting point was actually better than where we're at now. We swear this is progress. We swear to God, we're like, yeah, this is progress. This algorithm's taking us right to the grave. All we have at this point is leaders who blackmail their little followers and little minions to do exactly as they say. We don't even have actual free people out here anymore. We don't even have a free society. Most of the humans are all controlled. We've already went over that. You don't need to look hard to see that. Go get a job. Tell me how often, they threaten to fire you so you do something. You don't want to do something, you can lose your job. But the world's bullshit, bro. This internet, actually the world's fine. The internet's bullshit, bro. It turned into bullshit. FaZe just went and fucking kicked everybody. It's all bullshit, bro. I don't want this stupid fucking algorithm anymore. We deserve something better, dude. People who are posting anywhere between 4 and 5 times a month. We deserve, to be seen as consistent. Yeah, some type of trophy for the consistency. When you're like, that should be a push to the top of the home page alone, just for that, just for the consistency. And then you get into the quality, and then you're like, all right, everything on his stuff is clear. It's clear quality. I can hear him loud and clear. I can see him perfectly fine on my screen. You're like, all right, that deserves a shove to the top of the algorithm. The production value, you're like, well, he's given me a lot of good advice, so that deserves a shove to the top of the algorithm. And so when I come on here, I create this channel that completely revolves around fulfilling all 3 of these things. And then when I do it, you're like, fuck out of here, bro. Like, I need you to understand, bro, everybody's thinking the same. As soon as you press somebody and you destroy them in an argument, they call you corny. They say, I don't care about your white ass bullshit. Or they say, shut the fuck up. They tell you to, they think that they have it based on facts. Some of them will be factual, but then they realize it wasn't really important. Like, some of them will try and correct a typo. They'll think that that's some kind of grounds of authority over you. So when you actually hold authority, bro, people do not want you in authority. They'll do anything to convince themselves that they are still in authority. They will do anything to convince themselves of that. They'll call you names. They'll do anything, bro. Like I said, the furthest somebody went to end my authority was they took a video of me making out with someone to try and make me look like a fucking creep, a pedophile, or what have you, you know. But people have gone far, bro. I think some of you guys just, some people out there, they just want to seem like people want to drag them down, but they have not actually been through it, dog. They've not actually been through it. And yeah, I think that's a good place to call it off here, call it quits on the stream, because I'm it's kind of sad, you know what I mean? It's kind of bullshit. The rules need applied equally, and no matter how many times I go back and say it, shit doesn't change. Things don't change, things stay the same. It's like you guys think I'm working out so that I can beat the shit out of everybody. It's like, no, it's like, dude, I'm actually, I don't know if you know this, but I'm working out so that I can protect victims. But you know, the fact that you think I'm working out so I can just hurt everybody says more about you than it does about me, for real. And yeah, that's the way she blows. I'm gonna